Hello everyone, welcome back to the Boudoir. It's your girl Ieasha here. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody is doing well. It's a rainy day here in Chicago, so I've low-key been wanting to just take a nap all day, but we have things we need to talk about, okay? It is time to talk to my Boudoir babes. It's my favorite time of the week, but this week we're going to be talking about male-centered women and specifically why they will never be your true friend. Why did I whisper that? I don't know. It's not a secret. They'll never be your true friend, and I'm going to tell you all about that in today's episode. So don't forget to like, subscribe so that you never miss a new episode. We talk about a lot of fun things over here. We talk about a lot of like internet analysis stuff, friendship, relationships. So kind of a hodgepodge of fun stuff. But let's talk about why a male-centered woman will never be your true friend. I made a video about this on TikTok and it seemed to resonate with a lot of people because it seems like we have a lot of like friendship baggage that we need to unpack. I know I'm still unpacking it myself. You know what? I know we talk a lot about male betrayal and we talk about how, you know, these men ain't ish and blah blah blah. But have you ever been betrayed by a friend? That pain is literally 10 times worse. Like, I would rather take 10 heartbreaks from a dude than a friendship breakup because these things are so intense. We as women, we value our friendships a lot and we like to place a lot of emphasis on them, we think, right? But what happens when you're a male-centered woman? That tends to not be the case, and thus that's when we get the disconnect because you have some of us who truly do place a lot of emphasis on our female friendships. I don't even like saying the word female, but whatever. On our friendships, we place a lot of value on that because there's things and lessons and values that you can't always get from a relationship that you can get with a friendship, and even with a family relationship. Like, the relationship you'll have with these three different types of people are going to be so different, but there's something so special about friendship, and a lot of us really do hold on to that and we really do treat it with a lot of importance. So if you're somebody who pours a lot into their friendships, and when you get to know somebody, you don't just take it for granted. Like, you actually want to know about them inside and out. You want to know about their dreams. You want to talk about their passions. You want to get to know who they actually are at their core, and not just what's the latest episode of Love Island, what's this. Not to say that we don't like to talk about that too, but you know, there has to be something beyond that. Like, there has to be something beyond the exterior. So that's when a lot of us will look for friendships to fulfill that deep inner need to be understood. So if you're somebody of that mindset, you're going to pour a lot into your friendships. You're going to be there for them when they need you, when they need a listening ear, when they need to vent. You want to be there. You want to help them solve difficult life problems. You want to just sit there and be somebody they need to like go through things with, hitting those milestones, getting married, having kids, all of that type of thing. Like, you want that extra person. That's not a romantic partner. That's not a family, sister, whatever. You need that other like connection to understand you. Then that friend meets the pick-me friend, okay? This is a canon event, I feel like, for a lot of us, and if this hasn't happened to you, then my friend, you might just be the pick-me. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe you're lucky and you just haven't come across these people in your life, and that's fine. But I bet you if you're clicking on this video, you probably have gone through some friendship betrayal, okay? Let's talk about it, okay? Step into my office, we're gonna unload, we're gonna unpack. That's what friends do. Okay. Now, I said this is a canon event, right? So that means you've either had a friend who was a pick-me, you might have had a couple friends that were pick-me, you might have also been the pick-me friend yourself too, and you have to be honest about that, okay? Because on the Boudoir, you know, we're not one of these other little YouTube channels that just say everybody else is the problem and I'm perfect. No, okay? You have to admit that sometimes you aren't always on this path to enlightenment, so we gotta set our pride aside. As much as it hurts, yes, we were probably once pick-me's in our life, okay? Living in a patriarchal society where you're taught that men good, women bad, women are here to serve man. Like, when you grow up with that rhetoric, of course you're probably going to subconsciously live in that way because it's so deeply ingrained in your media with these Disney princess things. You're just supposed to sit at your window longingly waiting for this person to come sweep you off your feet. And like, I don't know, that's the big goal that we all had. That's the type of messaging that we're being fed as children. So of course we're gonna have a little bit of that like internalized misogyny that we have to unpack. You either recognize that within yourself and you work to unpack that, or you don't realize you have that and you just live your life in complete bliss and ignorance and you act like a pick-me sometimes. I'm sorry, but it happens, you know? Why might somebody be a pick-me? Well, again, when you live in a patriarchal society, sometimes people think that the best way to move about safely is to assimilate to the culture. If you're you're black, you might assimilate to European standards because that's the best way to get a job. If you have an ethnic sounding name, you might change your name on a resume to sound more palatable to a hiring manager. It's the same thing. If you're a woman growing up in this patriarchal world, you might behave in those type of misogynistic ways to just survive and make it through. If you're somebody that values marriage, kids, the family, whole 9 yards thing, you might act in those internalized misogynistic ways to get the ring. Maybe. There's many reasons, but it all goes back to that. It's a survival tactic, but it also has to do with being insecure. I feel like that's the main characteristic of a male-centered woman, is insecurity. When you are not centering yourself in your own life, you will center everything but. You will center other people's needs, becoming a people pleaser. You will center partners' needs and not listen to what you want. You're overexerting yourself for this person who does not center you in their life, but you are centering them for whatever reason, or for the aforementioned reasons. You are insecure, or you have fallen into this internalized misogyny thing. Those are like the two main characteristics. Like everything else I'm about to mention is like secondary, but like insecurity, not centering yourself, and growing up in a patriarchal society is the reason why pick-me's are the way they are. That's, if you don't want to watch the rest of this video, that's literally all you have to take away from it, okay? They will not be a good friend because they are insecure, and they are not good friends to themselves. That is my statement. But I like to yap, so we're definitely gonna get into it, okay? So we talked about internalized misogyny, we talked about insecurity. What are the other characteristics of a male-centered woman? Because they center men in their lives, they get their source of validation from men, meaning they are going to do things to get male attention no matter what, even if it's humiliating and they don't even realize how humiliating it is. Going out of their way to get a guy's attention, putting other people down, putting their friends down in front of guys that they find attractive just to seem more desirable. They will change their looks for men, and that's why you have to be careful with a lot of these femininity pages, because, you know, I understand we all want the rich man, we all want to have this hypergamous lifestyle for the most part, but are you willing to change your whole life? Are you willing to change who you are intrinsically for this mystical rich man that you may or may not get? Do you want to change your whole lifestyle for somebody that you don't even know yet? Or maybe you do know them, but are they even worth changing everything for? That's the question. When you start having those types of questions, that's how you know you're not male-centered. And it's not to say that you can't upgrade your look. It's not to say that you can't want to be in a relationship, right? Like, that's not what we're saying. It's normal. It's like everybody wants that. But what's not normal is sacrificing yourself, your standards, your personhood for said relationship. That's not normal. Now, it's not. But it has sadly become normalized, but we're working day in and day out to make sure that that doesn't happen, starting with this episode. So these pick-me's work tirelessly to get male attention. They don't get any sort of internal validation from themselves for whatever reason. And listen, everybody's on their own journey, so I feel like back in the day, I used to be a lot harder on pick-me's. Like, you'll see some of my older podcast episodes, I was really giving it to them because it does get very tiring to have to go through this over and over and over again, seeing some of these women online spread some dangerous, disgusting rhetoric that sets us back like 50,000 years. And of course, when you get tired of that, you want to retaliate. You want to say something. You want to like shake these people and be like, there's more to life than getting a text back. Okay? And I lose patience, but I'm trying to understand that everybody is on their own path. Everybody is not going to, you know, gain their consciousness, learn things about themselves at the same pace. And it's not our job to like force people to change their lifestyle if they don't feel like they need to right now. If they're happy with how they're living, that's on them. So I know gone are the days where I pick apart people and say, well, this person should have left and that. I don't care. It's your relationship. If you want to overexert yourself, if you want to put in all of this work in Christmas, not get anything for Mother's Day, and you know, we want to come online and tell us about it, go ahead, okay? I don't care because I got my own life, okay? Honestly and truly, I don't even say that to be funny. Like, I actually have my own things going on. I don't have the bandwidth. But what I'm trying to say is that, listen, we all have our own things going on. There's lessons that you haven't learned yet that other people are like, what? They don't know this? So it's like, we got to get out of this like, you should have known better type of attitude and just do things like this. have the discussions, have the conversation. The people that get it, and the people that don't, well, I don't know, they'll get it eventually. These pick-me's are not off the hook though, okay, because they have a lot of character flaws. Character meaning how they do things day in and day out, how they treat people, what their values are. Their characters tend to be flawed because they have a flawed thought process. They choose to center things that do not work for them. They choose to center people that don't care about them. They choose to center things outside of themselves instead of centering them. And because of that, because their thought process is flawed, they are going to have some flaws in other areas of life. That's what a character flaw is. There's a difference between just like having a little quirk, like, oh, this person just does things a little differently, versus like the way you fundamentally think is going to affect other areas of life. That's why with pick-me's, it's not just about men, it's about how they treat their friends as well. It's about their decision-making process. They're not just going to be a pick-me, they're also going to have some people-pleasing tendencies. They're also going to be non-confrontational for the most part. They're also going to be insecure. They also are going to be jealous of other people. They're also going to compare themselves to other people. So it's not just one thing, it's like a bunch of different areas. That's why it's super important that we have to talk about these things. Besides those other characteristics, every conversation is going to go back to men and dating, and oh, I met this guy on Hinge, and oh, I did this, and oh, I got a bunch of stuff nobody cares about. Sorry. Yes, yeah. Look, okay, nobody's saying that you can't vent. I love a good gossip session. I love a good like, oh, who are you talking to? Like, yes, it's fun. The difference is when it becomes the only topic of conversation. We're only getting some sort of like back and forth action. You see, your ears only perk up when it comes to talking about men. That's the problem. If you are here trying to spend quality time with somebody, you're going out to dinner with them, you're trying to catch up with everything that's been going on in their life, and everything is just about a man. That's a problem. When you go out and, you know, you're just trying to enjoy yourself, enjoy the company of the person you chose to go out with, but you're having every single conversation besides one about how that person is actually doing. That's a problem. And it's not reciprocated. Like, that's the difference. It would be one thing if you guys were like going back and forth and it was like a mutual thing. You guys are both talking about all your boy drama. That's one thing. But if it's just one-sided, this person is just using you as your therapist, that's a problem. That is very much one-sided. It's very much not fulfilling. Like, I can't be in friendships like that. Like, I can't. You can have friends for different things, right? Like, you have friends that, you know, you can go out to dinner with, you can go to brunch with. You have friends that you can party with, go to the club. It's always going to be a fun time. You have those friends that you can just sit in silence and just watch TV for like 7 hours straight. You don't even have to have a conversation and you're still fulfilled. So you have friends that fulfill different purposes. But in this stage of the game, I don't want those friendships where I'm just sitting there being somebody's therapist and you're just talking at me. I've done it. I did my time. I clocked in. I was the employee of the month for like 17 consecutive months. No, probably like 48 consecutive months or whatever. I've done my time is what I'm trying to say, and I'm done. I clocked out forever. It's not fulfilling at all. I can't have that. I need to have some depth in my friendships. I can't do these like vapid conversations about what's his face that you're gonna forget about in the next few weeks anyway. Like, why are these people taking up so much space and we're supposed to be hanging out? Like, this is a one-on-one thing. This is a group setting. We don't need to hear about it. Like, I don't know. And these are the people that also preach having a roster. And listen, I'm all for like not putting all of your eggs in one basket and like, you know, spreading out your dates, meeting multiple people. I'm not saying you have to like commit to somebody right away, but the people on these rosters don't be much of anything. I'm sorry. They be complaining so much and it's like, okay, why are you still talking to them then? Oh, well, you know, it's like, why are you a masochist? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you hanging around people that you kind of sort of like, that you can kind of sort of tolerate? I'm not like that. And it can just be a matter of preference. Some people can be around people that they don't necessarily like all that much, I guess. I just can't do that because if I don't like you, it's gonna be evident. If I don't enjoy spending time with you, it's gonna be evident, and I can't hide my face. I tried it and it doesn't work. It's not fun. I'm just in a certain space in my life. You can be in whatever space you want, but it's all about knowing what you want and being honest with that person. They're also not self-aware people, which means they're probably not able to be honest with themselves and have these types of open dialogues. They've never like dug deep. They've never done that shadow work. They've never done that like, you know, time, you know, that moment in your life where you just sit down and you're like, okay, this is how I am. What am I gonna do about this? I don't know. If you're an overthinker, if you like that type of thing, you've definitely had those hard conversations. Especially if you're watching podcasts like this, like you like the self-improvement thing, you like being honest, you're not the type to run away from your problems. You face things head on, even if it's uncomfortable. There's some people that never get to that level and they just do things to numb, they just hang around people, they party all the time. They never actually dig deep and like figure out that part of themselves. And so that rubs off on their other relationships. If you're somebody that does like to go deep and you're somebody that can like hold space for that, you're not gonna gel with a person that couldn't care less, who is just, you know, here for a fleeting moment. And again, that's fine. Like if you are in that moment in your life where you're just kind of having fun doing whatever, that's fine. But again, it's about being honest, it's about compatibility, and it's having respect for that other person. And finally, 10 times out of 10, these people gossip. They are the biggest gossips. They gossip about their friends, they gossip about their families, they gossip about people they claim to love, but they're talking the wildest smack about them. They gossip about you. Because, you know, if you are comfortable speaking like that in front of me, I have to believe it. I have to believe you're talking about me too. It's a character flaw. Like, you are going to be like that in other areas of life, not just your relationships and with men. Now let's talk about specific reasons why the pick-me will never be your true friend. So long as she's in a relationship, so long as she's looking for a relationship, you will always be an afterthought in the friendship. Yup, you had plans to go out Friday night. Oh, that's too bad. Something came up, and that something is a date because she found something that was a better offer than whatever you had going on. Yep, it hurts, but it's true, you know? They have people on a hierarchy. They go through their little contact of people. They have like their first priority people, then they have the second priority, and then they're like, I guess I'll call her and see what she's up to. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. Again, because the relationships are at the center of her reality and her access point, she does not care as much about everything else. Everything else is just an afterthought. But the man, that little mediocre person, that's all she needs in her life. So when he randomly decides at 9 p.m, hey, you know what, something came up, you want to come over instead? She's absolutely gonna run at that opportunity because she has to impress this guy. He is the most important thing. Like, she has to audition. This is her one and only shot. You're always gonna be there. You're always gonna be in the background. That's why she can take you for granted and go for this fleeting person who may or may not be in her life in the next 2 months. But you, who has been there and been loyal, you will be on the back burner. It's a tale as old as time, you know? They will also put you in the most dangerous, weird, shady situations, have you on the most shady part of town at the most random crack of dawn hours that you should be in bed going night-night in your little teddy bear pajamas, but no, you're out in the cold somewhere with these random people you've never met that are kind of giving you the creeps, but she's saying, oh no girl, it's fine, it's gonna be okay. They will leave you stranded. I just saw a TikTok of this girl who like left her friend stranded somewhere. It was like 40-degree weather. She was wearing like a club outfit, but the friend just left her out there. Like, it's terrible. These people will put you in dangerous situations, and that's why, like, it's not even just about a difference in compatibility, it's also about your safety. Okay, like, do you really want to be around somebody who doesn't even have any sort of regard for their own safety? If they don't care about their own safety, they're definitely not going to care about yours. Let's be real. So it's very important that if you notice somebody that has these types of pick-me tendencies, you have to watch, you have to be observant. Like, are they careless? Do they pay attention to detail? Are they making sure that they are safe and sound? Do they care about anything about you? Do they put your feelings in mind? Do they consider how you feel? Do they try to make you comfortable in these situations? Or are they kind of just like ignoring you? You have to clock these things immediately and just keep tally. It's not even about like testing people. It's just letting people show you who they are. I always do this. Like, rarely do I ever like cut somebody off right at the first, you know, offense or whatever. I will just people behavior, be like, I kind of am getting pick me vibes from this one. And you know what? That first initial reaction is always correct. I'm telling you, once you start trusting your intuition, you'll know. You'll be like, nope, I already know how this is gonna play out, but I just want to like see it visually so I can just get some more confirmation. And then they'll do more things, you know, they'll start making little jokes in front of their guy friends, leaving you out of the conversation, completely ignoring you, forgetting to reply to your text, you know, ditching you to hang out with somebody else. These things are gonna just collect and you're gonna be like, all right, I see exactly who you are. And then now it's up for you to move accordingly. So be careful when you notice somebody has those like reckless tendencies. They just fling themselves at the first offer that comes up to them. You know, if they're like scanning the room the whole time looking for their next person they're gonna, like, just a bunch of like corny behavior. Like, again, nobody's saying you can't be interested in the opposite sex. Like, that is not what we're trying to do here. I like to flirt, okay? I like to notice, I like to scan the room too. But what I don't do is when somebody's actually trying to like speak to me and have one-on-one connection, I'm not, you know, treating them as if they're an afterthought and just trying to find the next guy. Like, that's rude, that's weird, and that is not how a true friend behaves. That's how a high schooler behaves. That's how somebody who literally has never gotten any sort of attention in their life behaves. Sorry to put it that plainly, but it's true. And also, while you're having conversations with them, listen to the talking points they use. Do they use a lot of like pick me rhetoric? Are they kind of morally gray? Are they somebody that would like be the other woman and have no problem with that? Do they cheat a lot? Are they good friends to their other friends? Like, you have to watch, you really do. That's why it's super important, as we learn in elementary school, you have to listen twice as much as you speak, because the answers are all right there. You don't even have to do too much. You just gotta let people be who they are and just move accordingly. She will always be in secret competition with you. There will be this one-sided, you know, tit for tat type of thing that you didn't even sign up to be a part of, you did not consent for, but all of a sudden it's, you know, oh, I didn't know we were dressing up today. Oh, you look dressed up. Why are you so dressed up? We're just going here. We're just doing this. And those comments seem innocent, right? But there is a hint of like, you look better than me in their eyes. You look better than me. That's a problem. We can't have that. We need to be even, or I need to be better than you. And it's like, why are you looking at me like that? Why do you see me as a competition? You're your own person. You chose to put whatever outfit you chose to put on, just like I did. Just like if I was underdressed and you were wearing something, I wouldn't care because I chose to put these sweatpants on. I chose to look like I just rolled out of bed. That was an intentional choice I made, and I'm committing to it. That's what you have to do. If you chose to put that outfit on, that's what you chose to do. So it has nothing to do with me. I don't know where this competition and animosity is coming from, but leave me out of it because it's weird. They will focus on things that you had no idea were important, like who's getting the most male attention. They'll just be in comparison mode, and by doing that, they are projecting their insecurities onto you. It's very uncomfortable, especially if you have no idea like why this is happening. You're gonna be like, what are we doing? I don't know what's going on. And finally, they will compete for attention no matter what. Okay, they don't care. They are going to fight for that attention. You could just be sitting there minding your own business, not even like, you know, doing anything. They will fight so hard to get noticed. It's actually really weird. Like I mentioned, you can be in a group setting where it's like mixed co-ed company, and they're like, you know what I'm talking about. They'll do that thing where they like try to be the loudest voice in the room, try to laugh the loudest, and like just a bunch of extra things that like I thought we left in high school, but they're still doing it out here in their late 20s, early 30s. It's still happening. And even beyond that, like senior citizen age, it's quite bizarre. Some of these women never unlearn these behaviors, and they're just still fighting for that imaginary male attention that like, what is that worth? What, like, do we see the type of people we have roaming this earth currently? Like, what is that really that important? Is that a trophy? Like, oh wow, you got a text back, watch out, lottery winner. Like, nobody cares. At least I don't, you know. Like, and I feel like a lot of women are getting to this side of things where it's like, getting a text back is not the end all be all. Having a family is not the end all be all. There's nothing wrong with wanting those things, but there's also nothing wrong with not wanting those things. So all in all, you just have to know yourself, and you have to know what you're willing to put up with, and that just comes with trial and error. You have to come across these different types of personalities so that you know what you're looking for in a friendship. And if you recognize any of these signs in a friend and you needed that little confirmation, here you go. They're probably a pick-me. They have to unlearn that, and they might never unlearn it, and it's not your lesson to give out unless you want to, but they're probably not going to care because they're going to be stubborn about it. So do it on your own discretion. Do you have any pick-me friend stories? We would love to hear about it. Share it with your fellow boudoir babes in the comments down below so that you can help each other out. We need to like validate each other's experiences, because I promise you, you're not crazy. Like, yeah, that girl is probably in a secret competition with you that you had no idea about. She probably has a lot of like pick-me-isms to unlearn, and that's her own journey. That's not your responsibility. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely rate me 5 stars if you're listening on streaming. You know, we gotta get them get them stars up, you know? And let me know what else you guys want to talk about on the podcast. I am always open to suggestions, and make sure you check out the community tab on this podcast because we're always like posting polls, talking about future episodes. Sometimes you get like sneak peeks into like what's coming down the line, and turn on post notifications. I try to post around 6 o'clock every Tuesday, but sometimes I'm a little late because, you know, I'm me. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care, and I will talk to you guys next Tuesday. Bye.